Thank you very much. I apologize for this technical mistake. I usually, out of emotion, I'm trying to finish as soon as possible. So my name is Amella Bashoviq, and I am a PhD candidate at the Southeast European University in North Macedonia, but originally I am from Kosovo, from where I send my best regards to all of you. And I will try to be quite brief today because this topic is quite unique, as my previous colleague did. And I will try to maintain the 10 minutes or 15 minutes of time slot. We'll be waiting for the questions or discussions afterwards. And my today's presentation has to deal with hybrid warfare and emotional strategies in multilateral diplomacy. If we take into consideration that these three elements, if we discuss, we can analyze from different perspectives, but I think that this topic is quite unique and timely because not many scholars and academics are basically considering emotional strategies or impact of emotional strategies which are done through a hybrid warfare and which have impact on multilateral diplomacy. We know that the hybrid warfare uses basically a military approach with unconventional different approaches, but the one which basically impacts the most and is less spoken is the one of emotions. In this regard, while researching this topic, I came up to a conclusion and information why this is basically done is because all state actors and non-state actors who are using this specific approach, basically using this emotional intelligence or emotional strategies in a different manner or different responsibilities, are doing it because they want to be low profile, if I may say, or basically they don't want to be detected, and that's why they stay below the threshold, which would trigger a decisive military response, whether we are speaking from either states where we have a conflict or involvement of international organizations such as NATO, United Nations, European Union, African Union, etc. In this regard, my research focus was done basically, as I mentioned, on three different aspects. One is hybrid warfare, in which I wanted to encompass hybrid warfare in general, which is a quite old approach, cyber operation, which is delicate and not that old approach, and it's currently evolving, whether we are speaking hybrid warfare, cyber operations, etc. And then we have also disinformation campaign, or basically a campaign which is called FIMI. It's foreign information manipulation and interference. This is basically a concept or naming made by the European Union External Action Services, and it implies since 2015, which they basically take work on concerns of spreading of disinformation campaigns. Another part, when I wanted to research this topic, I took into consideration emotional intelligence, psychological warfare, and psychological operations, which are basically two quite relevant aspects in which all tactics and measures were taken in order to manipulate with brain, or basically mindset, of whether we are speaking about people, whether we are speaking about politicians, or whether we are speaking about any responsible or respective actor involved in the process, as well as cognitive, apart from psychological warfare, also cognitive warfare falls under this circumstances. And then what is quite important, how these two elements or two fields like hybrid warfare and emotional strategies do have an impact on multilateral diplomacy, whether we are speaking like multilateralism in an aspect of state to state or many states, or whether we are speaking as the international organizations who are mainly universal or regional, and they take respective actions in order to provide peaceful security and peace and security. This is the process. At the multilateral level, this is the process when everything is discussed and negotiated. But also, even then, at this stage, there's a psychological game, or a psychological game and emotional manipulation. that takes place. When I took into consideration these elements, I came up with three most important questions: is how do the hybrid threats amplify emotional dynamics within the international organizations? If I look into this question, I would say that it implies with manipulation of emotions by causing fear, by causing insecurities, by causing untrust. And this all multilateral actors as well as the international organization have to be very careful and have to consider, especially when they bring decisions at the negotiating table. The second critical question would be, how do these emotional impact the unity and functionality of multilateral frameworks? I would rather say that it actually has a very big impact, because sometimes it can make a divisions and plays a significant role in functionality on multilateral frameworks, as they can basically create mistrust in the participants. And the third one is, can emotional strategies be intentionally developed to counteract any influences of hybrid warfare? I would rather answer with yes. They can be developed, and they are usually developed with intentions to create any specific outcome at the political level. So basically, when looking at this topic, we have to deeply analyze tactical level, operational level, strategic level, and then political level, especially when the big negotiations and the big discussions are ongoing before bringing a respective political decision, which might impact on multilateral level and change the geopolitical landscape. Another basically issue when I took into consideration this topic is that I analyzed several case studies, and here I specified three quite interesting ones. The one is recent case study has to do with Iran-linked threats to United States political figures, and there is a group called Robert, which are basically somehow still confirmed that they are tied in Iran, even though there are different opinions on this. And this group basically claims that they have a lot of information against a lot of politicians, including Trump himself. And basically, this appears to be a hybrid campaign with cyber espionage, normal espionage, traditional espionage, and targeted doxing. Targeted doxing is basically, I don't know if you're aware, but term doxing implies to cyberbullying. So basically, they are using quite modern and low-profile means to threaten and to create an opponent to those who want to achieve political control. The second case that I wanted is basically old case, but still it's a present. It's Ukraine cyber attacks and espionage, which is basically done by Russian military intelligence units. One is GRU, which is equivalent for all the practitioners of hybrid warfare and academics. Most likely, they are known to be equivalent to the CIA. And Fancy Bear, this is a cyberbullying group that they are trying to threaten. I mean, they take all relevant cyber actions to endanger the opponent. What they did was they were intruding into Ukrainian agencies and infrastructure. They wanted to have the hybrid warfare operations, and they were dealing with disinformation campaign. And another also specific case is the Fancy Bear case. This is another also cyberbullying or cyber operations unit. They wanted to target especially NATO. Of course, that we are speaking about the Russian military intelligence. They went against NATO, against European Union agencies and European governments as well, and OSCE, as well as political parties, including those in United States elections in 2016, by leaking information, disrupting political system, by causing insecurities, fear, and division amongst all parties. Here, I don't know, we don't have much time, but also I made analysis another 5 different cases in which hybrid and cognitive tactics are implied and based had an impact of international organization and diplomatic processes, including foreign information manipulation and interference campaigns, psychological operation, narrative floodings, which is actually one of the another different approach or an inconvenient approach, which deals with overload of information and creating a lot of confusion with not knowing where the shared facts are based on. Deepfake information are undermining trust, and polarizing contents, dealing with fuel divisions between delegations, between states, and between respective parties. If we look into the challenges of multilateral diplomacy, there are different, we can categorize different, but including FEMIA psychological warfare, there are several questions when we consider the general challenges. One is one is creating confusion of shared understanding, and then the party that the information is spread to or the action is taking is basically coming into the confusion and asking questions, what is true over here? What can we believe? The second one is eroding the trust in neutral institutions, because nevertheless, if we have conflicts and challenges, especially people, people, not political parties, not the states or different actors, they turn and they ask who we can believe to. If we don't believe the states, then somebody neutral should be there, like a regional and universal organization. And then also it creates emotional polarization that creates untrust, and then the actor itself, whether it's state or a organization, they say usually we must act alone, and that's why by acting alone they cannot have this best results. Emotional intelligence is quite interesting. That if we look comprehensively and generally, it becomes strategic asset, and it cannot be used only as a soft skill tool, especially because it helps negotiate or set the negotiating table calm under manipulation, because there are a lot of manipulation done. They support empathetic, values-based storytelling to rebuild trust, because the trust can be triggered, untrust can be triggered very easily, but the trust to be built it takes a lot of time and action, and it also strengthens collective resilience to polarization and disinformation. However, main challenges can be looked at the different levels, but here I mentioned those comprehensive one and the key operational one. The comprehensive one, the one is that it creates a fragile consensus, information overload, emotional manipulation, which is one of the best and easy targeted tactics, reputational erosion, and asymmetry of response or delaying response.
Interruption, last 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. Operational challenges are very operational, which creates a rapid evolution of evolution and tactics. We have multilateral response when they understand how emotional intelligence becomes essential and can be manipulated. That's why they have to create, or they have to improve and strengthen coordination mechanisms in order to create resilience or to build up resilience. New diplomatic reality is based on the four different levels, but the biggest level is, or the highest level is, that they have to be persuasive, which means they have to be more intrusive, and to understand that the evolving hybrid warfare and psychological and emotional warfare is modern statecraft. And I came to a conclusion. I hope I have 1 more minute. I took only 5 key takeaways, which I don't want to discuss now, but what I wanted to say is that hybrid warfare, including the emotional manipulation or emotional strategies to multilateralism, is divided into 4 different levels, which is tactical, operational, strategical, and political. They act in order, as I mentioned, below the threshold to achieve political goals and change landscape for the benefits of the specific groups. By doing that, they basically avoid international legal frameworks, which is jus ad bellum and jus in bello. I think that this would be it. And then I hope I'm in the right time frame, and I will be waiting for the questions and answers at the following part. Thank you very much. Best regards.